This is America, free country. And wake up, people, because we the people, we have our rights. You like to wear a mask? Good enough. I have many people who come to my place and wear masks. I don't criticize them. I respect them because they are the human. It's up on everyone as an individual, what he likes to do or not.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Two Average Joes. And this time, we're not lying. This is going to be exciting.
There we go.
This isn't like, oh, they're saying that again. This time is going to be exciting. And Robert Baker, I'm going to let you introduce our special guest.
Yes, we have Marlena Pavlos-Hackney with us, the world-renowned restaurateur from Holland, Michigan, that did 4 or 5 days in jail for standing up for her rights. She has been on a speaking tour, different patriot groups, and all over the United States, actually. So welcome, Marlena.
Marlena, it's good to see you. She is one of my favorite people also. So Marlena, how are you doing? Great.
Thanks for having me on your Zoom show or meeting, whatever you call.
Yes, we're still trying to figure that out.
Yes, we are.
What do you call it? Marlena, I know for listeners that are not familiar with you, your story is a little bit different. I mean, we're going to have a link down there where, you know, you're the first political prisoner of the pandemic, in my opinion. I mean, 5 days, you know, in jail, just totally ridiculous. And there'll be a link for those that don't know about that story. But your story is a little different than other people's. You're from Poland originally?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and they were under Soviet rule at the time.
Yes.
Okay, so y'all were dealing with the real Soviets, not the Russians everybody's crying about today. The real Soviet dictators in Poland. So why don't you tell your story, because it's way more interesting than my story. So tell us a little bit about that whole situation, you being in Poland.
Well, when I live in Poland, we were under Soviet Union communist regime. When I was a child, was mandatory to have Russian language in grammar school, high school, and college. We have to follow all those communist rules. We don't have no rights. We were having dictatorship that will dictate what we can do and cannot. We will have like solidarity movement, blocks like we have here in America, who people fight for freedom underground and bring real, news, what we have to do. People who would real news, they will have to put on a specific radio station to hear the BBC or Free Europe to find out the truth, because otherwise the TV we watch, we will have like 2 programs, they will tell us lies, will be fake news, just like we here have. So if you like to news here in America, you gotta go Fox News or Max News or Q station or so many other ones, because the regular channel, they don't tell us the truth, what's going on. So we have the same experience in Poland. So, for example, like my uncle, he will listen BBC and Free Europe at 10 p.m. His best friend, he will go under his window and he hear what he was listening, which was forbidden for us Polish citizens. He go report him in the police and they come arrest him and take him to jail, because you cannot listen, real news, the stuff that told you what's going on in whole world, or the truth, not the fake news. So this is one example. Other examples that, we have to follow all those dictatorship. We have Stalin and Marxism that they will teach us at school. And we will have this patriotic bloc that will deliver the truth and tell us that we have to fight against this tyranny that the government tried to, because they tried to sabotage, was very hard to own a business. And as you know, the Nazis and the same the Soviet Union, which the history, even in Poland back then, they don't teach us the truth, they tell us lies. So they will come, they will invade and take your property away from you, which we have a lot of lawsuits. Even like when was it, like 10, 15 years ago, when the Polish president was going to Russia to Katyn to demand to get payoff because they took all the properties from the Polish people, and they kill a lot of Polish intelligence that they don't teach us in a history book, because cover up what is the truth and what is the lie. Even up to date, still some stuff they don't want to bring to on a daylight. They want to story.
Yeah, let me interrupt you there, because I think there's one thing you said, and I want to go ahead and do this and then turn it right back over to you. Because I don't think a lot of people who are, thinking, oh, everything's okay here in America, they don't understand it. How much of that they were doing to you when you were in school? Like when you were a kid just growing up in school. And unlike, these parents that can get upset now, there wasn't that. So that's always interested me that it started at school. So that's kind of an interesting part that you said that. So the other thing that I'd kind of like you to comment on is just how y'all got free information out, because you're right, nobody's teaching history.
So when we used to go to school, we all have to get dressed with the same uniform. Every child will look the same. You cannot come with different clothing. You have a uniform that was assigned for each class. Even when I was in a high school, I look probably like a nun because I have this long dress outfit, because that was the rules. So we were ruling. We could not pray and go to church. So when I go to church, will be separate. You go to church and you have religion classes. In school was forbidden talking about God or pray. We didn't do that. So that was one aspect. Second, we live like most people under poverty level, which you have, like this, call it like apartment building that you pay a little bit, was owned by the government. And that's the way you live. People who will have homes will be very difficult to, hold, because they want to, take away all those assets. You have to pay a big amount of tax. They will, charge or so, because you have an asset. So most of the people, we could not own a home or have a car. So very few people who really have the money was able to have this, special car or have a home. Most of the people, majority, will live like under communist regime. You have small apartment that you live, and people were unable to meet the means. So in one apartment, you will have sometimes 3-4 families living under one roof, which each one will have a one room to sleep in, and was very hard, was very poor. And the money you have to really make sure you spend wisely and cook for the whole family the cheapest meal that you can, to be able to survive for the whole months.
Yeah, I find that to be just amazing about the taking of property and making businesses totally dependent on the government. I mean, you weren't owning stuff. And I always kind of felt in America that we kind of treated businesses as sacred, especially small businesses, because that's really a lot of the backbone of this country. People hiring 5 or 10 people, but you have thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of people doing that. You realize how many people they employ. And I know you're in the restaurant business, and I can only imagine in your lifetime how many people you've employed. And I feel like now we're in America where I'm not really convinced that they're interested in that anymore. And that's in and of itself a problem. I want to ask you this, and this is just being as blunt as I can be. Do you see some of that happening here now, where the way they're doing education, the fact that you can't get any information out, the fact that it's almost blocked? We were talking about that before we came on show, just trying to get information out is amazing. Do you see any parallels with that?
Yes, I do. I see like they try to destroy all the business in America. So people, first of all, we will not have jobs. You know, they bribe everyone. This is bribing what they did last year. They give this free money, stimulate package or unemployment, special, you know, money that they will, you know, give to every individual who didn't work, because they want those people to don't look for a job, just get this free money, but they are bribe them because they say, okay, they're going to quit working, which you see what happened right now.
Right.
Then business owner cannot find employees, which you see. So they forced to close, because if I'm a business owner and I don't have people that are willing to come and help me and participate in my business, I'm going to be forced to be out of business. So they tried all these different ways how they can destroy all the businesses in America. And then they have them power. And we, the people, we have to stand up. We have to fight for. We cannot allow to destroy any business in America, because that's the power, that's the engine of this country. We don't want this elite who owned this Walmart and Sam's and Amazon. They destroy every small business. So because they own the, you know, stock, they want to be more people, and they're going to dictate what we can do or we cannot do, how much we're going to pay to all of them, because that's what they try to do. Just like they did in Poland. They don't want to have people that we will have the power, because money talks. So if you, as a small business owner, you're able to pay your, you know, style life you have, your property taxes, you can own a home, you can have a car, you can travel. If they're going to take all this because you're not going to be able to produce any money, or even the people who work for you, they earning income, if they're going to give you $100, now they're going to say you got to survive. And then another thing, we need the market, so we have different, you know, people who produce goods, they get better grade and stuff like this, because when we live in communism, we have the lowest, you know, production, you know, wasn't like great and good stuff, was like stuff made in China, and was, you know, get the best of the quality. That's why we have to make sure that we Americans, we will not allow that this is going to happen to this country. And I hope every human being will wake up and don't let the government to bribe them because they give you $100. You see the $100 what they give you last year, how much is worth now?
Right.
I don't know, even 50. So.
Right. Yeah, I think an interesting thing, and let me say this, because it's one of the weirdest parts of it all, where I feel like we're fighting a lot of the good fight here, so to speak. Robert and I, when I was in Michigan, we talked to another restaurant owner, and she basically told the same story.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because they'll go, oh, well, they gave some money to the owners, you know, the small business owners, right? And they're like, you know, we had to get that money to get anybody to even come in to open the business. You know, so all this, oh, these small business owners got X, Y, and Z. No, they didn't. They didn't get the same thing. They got enough to, you know, use the word bribe, to help bribe the employees to come in. And this particular owner told us that when that money ran out, they didn't know how they were going to stay open. And I'm sitting here in Mississippi now, and you got restaurants, and I'm talking fast food. We're not talking about, a real restaurant. Well, fast food, they can't stay open past 8 o'clock because they can't get people. So that's crazy. Robert, man, what else you got on that?
Well, when you were here, we drove around and we couldn't find a restaurant that was open. We went to Burger King to use the bathroom. You couldn't go in. It wasn't open. A Burger King in the middle of the week, middle of the day.
Yeah.
And that person, she owns a steakhouse here in Allegan, and Marlena ate there. That's where we met.
That is correct. That's where the first time I met you.
Yeah. And she can't, I'm not sure they're open 100% yet because they can't find staff. There's all kinds of restaurants around in Allegan County, and I suspect in Ottawa, that's not open back to the pre-COVID levels because they can't find a staff to run the thing.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I love when I'm talking to you, Marlena, and you're saying stuff like there's, the quality, nothing on the shelf, can't find anything. And I'm going into stores now and I'm thinking, oh, that sounds like America. And then the answer you get is, we better get used to it. We've been spoiled. Yeah, we were spoiled. That's because we like to have some food.
Right.
So, Robert, man, just I do hope that that your friend does get in that makes it, but we're experiencing the same thing here.
Yeah.
One of my friends, one of the people that work with us behind the scene, me and Chris, we were going to go have a meeting at McDonald's. Asked me how that went.
How'd that go?
He was in the car because they couldn't open up the lobby in the middle of the day.
Right.
They're doing what they're doing. I mean, what you gonna say? But in a couple of minutes, just tell me if there was just that experience in Poland. What would be the warning you would give to like Americans?
That they have to stand and fight for freedom. We cannot allow the government take us rights away. We have the right to life, liberty, and property, and they cannot take those away from us. We have to really fight. We cannot allow them bribe and promise because they have agenda. They try to use all those techniques which you see, they bribing people, they promise them, and soon they're gonna have the power, we will have no rights, and then we will be really destroyed. So we have to really fight. We have the rights to work and provide goods and protect all the rights we have, unalienable rights, God-given rights. The Constitution was created to limit government and safeguard our unalienable rights from the trespass of the government. So we have to stick together and not allow them to destroy this country, because if this is going to happen, we will not have another America. America is the country of freedom, and we can save the whole globe. The whole globe is watching because we, the people, we can do it. And whatever every patriotic group does to fight for those rights, I know we will be able to achieve. But we have to use as power and do whatever it takes to bring, because we, the people, we have our rights.
No, I agree. I think that is something that if there's anything we can say about this is about your rights. It's about your freedom. I think a lot of people get lost on these mask mandates and these vaccine mandates, and they get all upset with all of this stuff, and they miss the rest of this picture. We have not recovered from this shutdown. We are still seeing things that are crazy, and the answers we get are just abysmal. There's absolutely abysmal. I mean, it's like they want to make it sound like we're crazy for wanting rights. And that's all you really got, Robert?
Well, we weren't going to go there, but there's an article out that I sent to you about a rock musician that basically said that anybody who doesn't get a vax is an enemy.
Yeah.
An enemy of the state, actually, which is very interesting. It's a beloved rock musician from the early 80s. But
Actually, the 70s. And we're not mentioning his name because he is on our foul list.
yeah.
Look, I'm not going to criticize anyone because we the people, we have as rights, unable rights. So your health is your responsibility. I feel like this. Everyone as an individual, you, me, or whoever, is up to you. If your mind and your belief, dictate you or send you message that you want to have vaccine or you want to wear mask, it's up to you. I'm not going to criticize. You do what you think is right. But the same way, I would like, as government, as president, will respect me or anybody who refuse to take the vaccine or masking, because we the people, we have the right to choose what is good for me as an individual, not as a whole group. So if the government will respect everyone, citizen, and his rights, I don't have no problem. But they cannot dictate and shut us down, take us rights away, mandates, people losing jobs, and that's not fair. This government we have is a shame to us country, and we have to make sure we have the right leadership to do good for this country, and we can achieve that.
No, I agree with you. And I think that one of the things we have to do before we wind up this segment is to remind people, nobody here is telling you not to get vaccinated. No one's here telling you not to get masked. We're just worried about freedoms. And what we really want is some sense. As I watched 109 people in a stadium a couple of weeks ago in Texas, totally, just hanging all over each other. In some place somewhere, some kids are in school and they are just having their education brutalized. Well, we all know, you have been arrested. There's going to be a link down there, as I've mentioned before, and spend some time in jail for serving food. And that should let you know the America we're living in now. But there is still some appeals process and everything, so I don't want us to go too far into that. But I do want us to go into this because I think people would be interested. You did not sit down and just take this. You didn't just roll over. That's what I love. So you've been very involved in things. You went out to California and was involved in a lot of good things. And I know you're working with politicians and people now. So I think right now, tell me what you do and how are we impacting Michigan and the United States?
I wanted that every business owner, every human being who works for other businesses, everyone will wake up and see, we the people, we have the right to work and produce goods. It's not a crime to operate my business. If I'm starving, I'm going to do whatever will takes to survive. I will do farming, hunting, fishing, whatever, just to survive. If we don't have a government, we will exchange goods and we will make a living. Government should protect, and they are a servant. And what they're doing right now, they try to dictate what we can do and we cannot do. You see all these laws and all this stuff, what they try, we cannot even buy some seeds to put in our garden. I don't understand why. Last year, you wanted to buy seed and they say, no, you cannot buy seed. Why? If I'm starving, I will do whatever. I don't need government and government money. I want to make a living and be able to survive. So I hope everyone will understand that they try to control us. And what they're doing right now, they try to scare every one of us. They try to put fear in all of us, so we will follow the rules and regulations. Well, we the people, we have unalienable rights. God created every one of us, and we have equal opportunities to use this land. Government, he don't own the land. We are willingly paying all those taxes, license fee. We want to make community saved. But at the same time, what they're doing, they try to take full control and enable us rights, so we will not be able prison to even move or say anything. And as you know, we have the Constitution, which is a contract signed between we the people and the government. But he's a servant. He works for us. We don't work for him. So we have to do whatever will take. That's why I took a stand. They don't gonna dictate. I put sign on my door that we are the people. I don't follow any governor orders. We the people, we have unalienable rights. And I also told everyone that I don't follow the rules and orders that the government impose, and that your health is your responsibility. So if anyone was scared to come to my business due to COVID, which I understand COVID is existing, but it's like a flu, you have to take precaution. If you're sick, you stay away from everybody. You should not go any place. You should do whatever, takes. Like in my example, my best remedy when I have a flu, I cook homemade chicken broth soup and a lot of, liquids, tea and vitamin C to extend. And you stay home and your body's going to fight and you're going to get well. So, it's up to you. You in charge of your health like everyone else. So I don't understand why the government is going to tell me what I can do or not. I decide I'm going to run my business. And as you know, many other businesses, they do the same thing like I do. I don't understand why they come after me, why they arrest me. But let's make an example. They wanted to put fear in me. They wanted to silence me, but they don't know who I am, because I will not swallow. I will fight. If I have to do it all over again, yes, I'm going to do it. And not just for me, for all of us, because we have the right to live and work and provide for us living. And if I'm going to die, I better die on my feet than on my knees, begging the government to give me to able to survive. When they impose all this LLP loans, my cook, why don't you apply for? I say no, I will not do it, because you know what? In my mind, say something. They give you something, and then you have to follow the rules. And I'm not willing. I'm a good citizen. I pay my dues, my property taxes, license fee. I follow all the health codes, and I say this is bribing. They're going to give me $1, and then maybe they're going to say, well, we'll forgive you, maybe not. Maybe when you're going to sell, you got to pay us. Or maybe you have to follow now this rule and that rule. Well, I'm in charge. I'm owning this business. I'm owning this property. I'm paying taxes, and I'm in charge. And I'm glad I did what I did. And I'm happy that my people who work for me, they were able to stick and make a living, except the wait staff. Some of the wait staff, they get scared because they see this article in the paper which says anyone who don't follow Governor Whitmer orders will be fined from $250 to $1,000. And sure enough, my wait staff, they get scared. All of them, they say we cannot work because we're going to get punished. And I told everyone, don't be scared. I will pay the fine. I want you to be here. But, people are people.
Yeah.
Some people, they don't get intimidated and they say, no, we will do it. So I was forced to run my business by myself. And as you know, in December, I have a health department came to my place, serving me with cease and desist. They brought 2 Holland police officers, and they come, and I stop them right in the building. When they walk in, I say to those 2 ladies from Allegan Health Department, I told them, I respect you as a human being, but at the same time, this is my constitutional protected right. I have the right to work and provide for me. You're trespassing my property, and I want you to leave right now. I can call the cops, but since you have those two police officers present with you, please, police officer, escort those two ladies outside of my property. And the police officers from Holland, they are Holland City Police, they see, yes, she's got her rights. Ladies, we have to leave. But the police officer told me, we have this and this is for you. I say, thank you very much. I take the paper, I put on my shelf, and I keep running. They didn't scare me. I didn't close. I keep running. Then a few weeks later, they come with MDR, the same story. And also, I have a sign on my door that any government official, they don't have no rights to come to my building and transfer my property and harass me. But they did anyway. Even when the state police one time called me, after that, they say, we're calling you because, as you know, you don't follow the rules. I respect your sign, but I want you to be aware of what you're going to be faced. You're going to lose your license and so on. And I told the state police officer, whatever you have to do, keep doing. I'm not going to close my business. That's my right. And sure enough, I get the letter from MDR that I'm going to have a court, which I sent all those letters that I received, but still, MDR and health department, they came to the building again, and they informed me verbally that I'm going to have a hearing on February 1, which, sure enough, I took a stand. I know I have to be responsible, which I face. I had a Zoom meeting, Zoom hearing for 5 hours. And I told every one of them, MDR, that this is unlawfully and they don't have no rights to close my business and what authority they have and so on and so on. And as you know, after that, I had a 60 days to appeal, which they don't even give me 60 days. Month later, I had another hearing on Zoom with Van der Stoik. I tried to defend myself again, which didn't go well. I get warrant for my arrest and judgment. And that's why when I was forced to close my business, and then I have a state police, they call my house, they want me to turn myself into jail, and I say, no, I'm not gonna turn myself in. That's my constitutional protected rights. I have the right to work, and you don't gonna take those rights, and I'm not willing to go and turn myself in. So as you know, Dana Nessel, she gave direct order to the Michigan State Police to come and arrest me because I don't follow her orders. And as you know, orders are not allowed. Orders are orders. And I took my stand. I didn't get intimidated. I didn't get silent. They don't gonna scare me. As you know, they come and arrest me on the March 19th. And this was in Bush. I have involved 8 police cars, state police cars, and 8 police officers, state police. And if you're going to request FOIA, this is Freedom Information Act, you will find out that no one of the state police was willing to come and arrest me. And you know why? Because it was civil matter. And when it's civil matter, does not allow any state police to come and arrest me. They can only arrest me if this will be like traffic violation. So from FOIA, what I find out, government, the Attorney General, Dana Nessel, she was searching for anyone that he will do such a thing. And she find 2 sergeant and lieutenant from Popov area, which is like an hour away from my house, that they will come and arrest me, which is against the law. They bridge the jurisdictions. And as you know, 5 a.m., sure enough, they come and arrest me. They were waiting in my subdivision. When I left my house to going to work, I have this car following, was unmarked. And I get the sense that something is wrong. So I drove for half an hour and I pull in people's driveway because it's like dead end street. The car stopped, have no way to go. At that point, I know they follow me. So I call my house, I talk to someone, and I say, somebody follow me. So sure enough, I say, I'm going back home. I'm not going to go to the restaurant. I'm going back, and it's like this Ottawa Beach Road. And it's another car on the busy street, unmarked. He took over and he started following me. And soon I press the intersection. He's got the lights on, like police, but I didn't see any sign that this was police car. And in my mind, I say, well, someone like to kidnap me. And if I don't have a witness, who knows where I'm going to be, who took me? I say, I have to make sure I'm going to make a home so I have a witness. And the person was waiting for me on the driveway in my house. So this car was following me to my house, maybe like half a mile. I make safely, I pull in my driveway, and I have recording on my phone this little segment when the police come and try to arrest me. I don't want to get out from my car, but tell me I'm not going to comply and get out from my house, a car. They're going to break the window. I don't want to go to that extreme. So I comply. I surround. They handcuffed me, told me I have to wear mask. I told them, no, I will not wear mask. Under HIPAA and 4th Amendment, I'm excluded. The lieutenant told me, okay, we will let you drive without. They took me from Ottawa County to Ingham County, which they don't follow the jurisdictions, as you see again. They took me, it's an hour and a half drive. I was able to drive with him for an hour and a half without mask. I go to jail, the same thing. They told me I have to wear mask. I say no, under HIPAA and 4th Amendment, I'm not willing and I'm not gonna. They let me. They take me for hearing to court, the same story. Everyone have a mask except me. I don't have a mask. No one forced me. So can you tell me, why can't I run my business without my mask? My business I'm running is like my home, my property. I pay the taxes. And they want to force me and dictate what I can do or not can do in my place, or I have to Nazis and everyone who come to my building, I have to make them and force to wear mask. Something wrong with this picture. This is America, free country, and wake up people, because we the people, we have our rights. You like to wear mask? Good enough. I have many people who come to my place and wear mask. I don't criticize them. I respect them because they are the human. It's up on everyone as an individual what he likes to do or not. So,
I think one of the things I can tell you, one of the reasons they arrested you, I'll give you 2 words: Tucker Carlson. So I have a link down here with that.
Yeah, right.
Apparently, they didn't like your interview with him, and that. I wish that everybody would slow down the circus and start to understand that. See, It's very easy to go if you're not paying attention. Marlena got arrested because she had lost guidelines, some rules. I'm not even sure they were laws, but they look like it to me. Okay, but here's the problem. That's really not what happened. What happened is they got mad that you had the audacity to talk on Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
Okay. And you had audacity to take up for yourself. And I think going back into your talk, if there was anybody that would pay attention to this, it was like, there's an element of making an example of you. Because there was a tweet afterwards that was pretty hardcore, like, maybe, the state of Michigan had arrested the most gruesome criminal of all time. And somehow Donald Trump got involved in this. And I don't know how Donald Trump got involved in the tweet over arresting somebody over, basically serving food. Okay, so I think that's where people miss it, and it goes back to actually the article we were talking about a rock star who we used to like, who just basically called us an enemy of the people. It's like, dude, slow it down. Listen, what he's saying to us is that you're making us criminals when we're not, and I think that's what happened to you, Marlena. So go on.
I would like to say one thing. I'm an immigrant and American citizen. And in the Texas, I follow everything every American does. And well, I have a problem. They come and arrest me. And why they don't go and arrest all the immigrants who come across the border? No, you don't know who they are. They don't wear masks. They don't follow distancing. They don't go arrest them. They are good people. We protect. We give them free money, free stay. And they come and arrest me, and I have to pay a fine. Something wrong with this picture.
Yes, there is.
Wake up, people. We have this country. I don't care if you're conservative, if you're Democrat, Republican. We're talking about we the people and us rights. We are the citizen. If the government cannot protect American people, then something wrong with this picture. We are good for many different nations. And this is what is America known. But what they doing, they punish us. They put us in fear, American people, and they bring all these illegals, and they say, you are good, and we give you free stuff, and you're welcome. Something wrong with this picture. We have to stand, and we have to protect American people and our rights as Americans.
No, I will tell you this. Every time I see like large pictures of them walking there, I'm thinking if there's ever been a super spreader event, if you want to find one, I would probably get right there. I think, and you know, Robert and I have discussed this on a lot of different shows, and I want to get his opinion on this one. Is it's the lack of consistency that I think has everybody angry. There's a weirdness where, okay, you're an American citizen, you're running a business, you know, you're public enemy number one, and that is not an exaggeration, people. She's public enemy number one in Michigan. She's used as some sort of tweet bait for the attorney general, who, by the way, apparently is enjoying Michigan football just a little too much. And that is happening. And then, so you watch that, you know, you're pro Marlena and you're watching this. So you turn on the news and you see large numbers of people coming across the border. They're marching in from who knows where. Nobody knows who they are. I mean, nobody knows where they're from. Nobody knows who's paying for them to come there, because, champion, if you're watching this and you think they all just showed up walking here by coincidence, you might want to stop. I mean, stop starting your car in the garage. I think it's the lack of consistency that's killing people. And I know you got an opinion on that, Mr. Baker.
It's not just the lack of consistency, it's the governmental overreach that from every level from the top on down is where we're at, because there was a group out of Traverse City that had done a FOIA and they complied with it. We had done a FOIA and they didn't comply with it, but it showed actually the emails back and forth between Nessel, who's the highest law enforcement officer of the state of Michigan, and all of her underlings trying to arrest Marlena prior to her getting onto Tucker Crossing.
Right.
I mean, and it was, I mean, to me, that's nefarious. Okay. I mean, at least it's governmental overreach. Okay. And a misuse of power. Okay. And hopefully this will come up in the election, but I don't know. I know that Marlena has been outspoken. She has traveled the nation with this Awaken America tour. She went out to California. She did a big one in Grand Rapids. It was a 3-day event that was totally sold out with Michael Flynn and Roger Stone and several other conservative leaders. And it was fascinating. And Marlena, if you could respond to that, and how was your reception at those events? How was your message received?
Well, I meet so many great leaders who fight for freedom, like General Flynn. I have honor to have a dinner sitting next to him and exchange, thoughts and speak, So I'm very, fortunate to be able to meet in person, and so many other great speakers that, I met in Grand Rapids, in Reawaken America. And we, the people, we have to stand, we have to be connected. And this is what they do. Like Clay Clark, he wants me to go and travel to Denver and Texas, but because I cannot do it, I have my business that I'm running right now. But if I could, I will be everywhere to give my speech and my experience, what I went through, and encourage people that we have to take a stand and we have to fight what is right. Because what's going on right now, this is something bigger. We, the people, we fight for human being existence and human being rights. If those rights going to be taken away, then we all going to be finished. So we have to stand up, take, and do whatever will takes that we will be on the same page. We have to become united, put all this who is what, Democrat, Republican, on the side. We have one big picture that we, the people, we need us freedom, and everyone, he can express what he think and what the majority will vote. And I hope is legit, not like see what happened with the voting. We need forensic audit. That's another story that we have to talk about it. Yeah. That, like the GOP, I don't understand why they don't agree. This is not about one party or another. If we have a doubts, both parties, they should say, yes, we demand forensic audit. So everyone will have a peace in mind that whoever is the winner is the winner. But because they don't want to agree, that's put the red light. In my opinion, a lot of politicians, they are in the office because the elections is not right. They probably do something that many of them, they hold those positions and they should not be even in the office. And because they protect themselves, they don't want it, allow this forensic audit that we will find out the truth. Technology is great, but is a very dangerous thing. I'm the old-fashioned girl. I like my thing in writing, in papers. I can have my file. I like to count. I don't want it to, depend on this technology. Because how many times you see, you go to the bank, oh, sorry, sir, or sorry, ma'am, data, the system is down, we gotta wait. And what happens if they're gonna push the data and the data is gonna be wiped? You're not gonna even have no money in your bank because they're gonna say, we don't know what happened, or the data is gone. And I bet you what they're doing, something's gonna happen. So people, wake up. We need the old-fashioned, you go to the bank, you have the money, they should be there, you have your book, and you know where is it. Don't trust technology because this is a scam. Wake up, people. Take a stand. We the people, we can make a difference. And all the politicians, we don't need them. The government and government agency, they get bigger and bigger. They create so many jobs for themselves. They have a job security. What about us? We the people. We have to fight to make a living. We have to struggle. And we don't have this money that's going to come. Pay them? We do. They are our servant. We should downsize all the government agency. Every district should have one leadership, and we the people, we make the votes, we make the decisions. We should be, not how they do. They, have meetings and they make the meetings that nobody knows when the meetings come, and they pass all those laws that we don't even agree because they get bribed with them. company, with the insurance company, and so on. So we the people, we have to take a stand and we can make the difference, but we have to stick together.
Yeah, I will have to agree with you. And I will tell you this, everywhere that I'm at, people are talking about forensic audits, and it's not only with voting, but checking on a bunch of things like audits. They're checking on the voting. They want to do forensic audits with budgeting. And where you think people would be all for that, I got people that go, oh, we don't want to look at anything. And I'm like, that should be the minimal we do, is the whole government accountable. But I will tell you this, and we're getting ready to wind down. So I want to say this. And Marlena, we need to have you back because there's a lot more we need to talk about. But I want to say this. The fact that many Americans do not want forensic audits on anything is the most mind-blowing thing I've ever seen. We're in Columbus, and there's some concerns about some finances because somebody was arrested and convicted of embezzlement. And you got people like, oh, I don't think we need a forensic audit. And I'm like, I can't think of one reason you wouldn't have one. And we just base all this stuff bouncing off. And I think there's one reoccurring problem. Government has become so dominating that people are actually afraid to say anything. And Marlena, I know that's not you, but I'm confident that's our biggest problem. Nobody wants to do it.
Government, they are us servant. They work for us. So are afraid of them.
Yeah. I agree with you. We can't be fearful of them. I mean, there is one thing where you want to be respectful, and I think we all want to be respectful. I don't think that being respectful is ever this issue, but people definitely need to not fear them. So we're going to get ready to shut down here. We're going to have you back, Marlena, because there's a bunch of other issues. We're going to have a couple of other guests to come in here, and I would love to have you back, and we're going to have a few more. People do not want to admit, and maybe they won't watch our show because maybe they don't want to hear it. But if you read in just a regular mainstream anything, checking out mainstream media, I will assure you, you don't know what's going on. Right. And we've got to break that cycle. So before we wind up, I want to ask you right now, Robert, you got anything else you need to say?
No, other than I ate at Marlena's restaurant, I think it was late last week or early last week, and it was very, very good. And she bought me lunch, and I appreciate that. Always a great time with her. And thank you for coming on our show.
And Marlena, we're going to have you back. And any last words? I'm going to give you the last little couple of minutes we have here.
I want it. All the Americans will take the stand and fight for our freedom and we the people, constitutional protected rights, unalienable rights that the Creator gave us, and we are all equal, and we have to take a stand. God bless you all, and we the people, we will achieve as liberty and justice for all.
You got it. I agree with you. We the people. And I'll tell you something. Everybody better pay attention, because if you can own a restaurant in Michigan and have a run-in because you're not really following all the rules, if that's what you want to call, and of an entire state, who I am sure they have like maybe a large city where there's a lot of murders. And you can take 8 state police officers to go arrest the owner of this restaurant because she's public enemy number 1. You better understand, if it can happen to Marlena, it can happen to you. And if you don't get anything out of this, you better understand that. So we thank you. We'll see you on the next episode. And I appreciate everybody being